Hi, dear friends. I'm talking about one of the economic immigration processes today, which is family sponsorship. That means if you have someone who is related to you in Canada, and if they are a citizen or a Canadian permanent resident, they are eligible to sponsor you to come to Canada. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. What are the process requirements are, and who can sponsor and how you can get sponsored. I hope you like the video. Please subscribe and continue watching my channel. You can sponsor anyone who is related to you by blood, or if you were adopted, or if the person is adopted by your family. For an example, you could sponsor your spouse, common law partner, or conjugal partner, or dependent children. Also, you can sponsor your parents and grandparents, niece, nephew, uncle, auntie. So, end of the day, if they're relative to you by blood or adoption, then yes, you can sponsor them. And please keep that in mind. The process is same for family sponsorship for all relationships except parents and grandparents. For parents and grandparents, it's an invite that you must receive by the IRCC to be able to sponsor them. Next is, who can be a sponsor? Can I sponsor someone? What is the eligibility criteria? That's the question you may have in your mind. So, basic criteria is that if you want to sponsor someone, you must be at least 18 years of old. You must be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident living in Canada, or a person registered in Canada as an Indian under the Canadian Indian Act. If you are a Canadian citizen living outside Canada, you must show that you plan to live in Canada when you sponsor your relative or spouse or children to become a permanent resident. And please remember, you cannot sponsor someone if you are a permanent resident living outside Canada. And next requirement is that you should not be receiving any social assistance for reason other than a disability. That means you should not be getting any government benefit, like in the form of cash. You should not be getting anything from the government. Next one is, you must prove that you can provide for the basic needs of any person that is being sponsored by you. And in some limited situation, you might have to meet that income criteria. These are the important requirements to become a sponsor. And if you meet these conditions, you are able to sponsor anyone who's related to you either by blood or either by adoption. Next is, who can you sponsor? Okay, I'm a sponsor, I am eligible. Who can I sponsor? That would be the question you may have. So, the person must be admissible to Canada. It means the person should not have committed any crime, should not be a terrorist, and there are quite a lot of conditions which you can check on CIC website. And if it is your spouse must be at least 18 years old and your relationship must be real. So, what happens is sometimes people get married and they want to get a permanent resident, and that is the only reason they are married. And that's why they have this condition where they say your relationship must be real. Next, that person you're going to sponsor must be a relative. It could be by blood or by adoption. Next is, what are the documents you require to submit for family sponsorship? So I have divided it into two categories. First, I'm going to talk about sponsor documents. Sponsor will need a notice of assessment. This is provided by CRA, which is Canada Revenue Agency. You must provide your notice of assessment. And for grandparents and parents, you need at least 3 years. But for spouse and rest of the people, 1 year is enough. Next is employment proof that you have a job in Canada and you are able to provide for basic needs of that person you are sponsoring. Next, permanent residency proof that you are a permanent resident or a citizen in this country. So you have to provide that proof. And next category, I'm going to talk about the documents a person who's getting the sponsorship will need to provide. He or she needs a birth certificate, passport, relationship proof, photo, proof of entry if already living in Canada in the form of work permit or any kind of visa, police certificate if above 18 years, and biometrics. And please remember, these are really important. And if in case you're missing something, you need to make sure you write an explanation on a blank paper so that they understand why that particular information is missing. Next is application submission. So make sure you completely fill all the forms along with the checklist. So if you go to CIC website, there is a application package. Depending on which country you are in, who you are sponsoring, make sure you download the right application package, fill all the forms and make sure you include the checklist also. Pay your fees and then write a letter in detail for any document that is missing or any information that you are not able to provide properly. And submit, and all you have to do is wait for IRCC to contact you saying that the PR has been approved. Next, I'm talking about fees. For permanent residency, it's same for everybody who is an adult, spouse, partner, or parent, grandparent, relative. For everybody, it's $1,040 in CAD. And for a dependent child, it's just $150. And biometrics per person is always $85 CAD. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching and subscribe today to not miss any of the other videos I'm planning to make on US and Canada immigration.